So more and more as I'm starting to see the changes in the industry and see what's really going on, it's looking more and more like this decade, manga publishing companies aren't gonna have it as easy as they've had it the last few decades regarding having a monopoly on that industry in particular. I'm not talking about like comics because, you know, obviously Western comics and manga, two different things in major ways. And of course, you know, one is created in Japan, one is created in, you know, the States and all of that jazz. But I'm seeing a huge shift, and it's been slowly but surely building up for the last decade to where it's looking like now manga might have a problem, and this could be the beginning of not necessarily the end, because manga, there's too many staple series that are so freaking popular worldwide that are going on for decade after decade. They won't diminish, but manga could seriously be in trouble, or at the very least have a run for its money, and that's a very good thing. Let's talk about what's going down. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. So in case you don't know, Webtoons, aka Manga, has become a big thing. It's starting to blow up. I've been hearing about a lot of titles for years now. Like, I want to say as early as maybe 2012, 2013, maybe earlier or later than that. I can't really remember, but many years now, a lot of people have been recommending me titles that are manga, and I honestly was just being stubborn, being like, nah, I'm cool, let me check out what the next series that comes out of Jump is about, and I never really gave it a shot. It was just more so me being in a bubble and not looking outside. But I've heard of series like the Tower of God, Noblesse, the God of High School. I've heard about these titles for years. I mean years, and I always was just kind of like, hey, that's cool, but I never really seen outside of, like, you know, hardcore readers really recommending it and saying, like, you know, they didn't have any anime. It wasn't really a big deal. But with one of the biggest announcements right now that came out of Crunchyroll of what's going on, it's looking more and more like, again, these manga publishing companies are going to have some heavy competition moving into the future, and especially within this decade. And on top of that, Webtoons, I think there's an app, the Webtoons app, it's just becoming a phenomenon. One of the things that's different about Webtoons, again, they're made in South Korea. That's one of the big things about manga. They're Korean comics, essentially, a Korean manga, so to speak, but also they're in color. And despite the fact that a lot of us, I appreciate black and white. I appreciate the art and what can be done in black and white that not necessarily can be done to the degree that is done in black and white with color. Don't get me wrong, there's some incredible art with color, I'm not taking away, but there's just something unique and special about, like, you know, you look at a series like Vagabond, you look at a series like Berserk, or just any series that in manga that has some beautiful art that is in black and white. There's something distinct about it. So I'm always going to love manga no matter what. I'm always going to treasure these stories and all that stuff. But there is a big deal that a lot of, especially younger kids, that, like, you know, it's the passing of the torch. They're like, well, do I want to read this in black and white, this comic here? Or do I want to check this full-on colored story, which is what manga Webtoons delivers? And I think that's going to be very pivotal moving forward, on top of the fact that the big announcement that Crunchyroll just announced is going to be a game changer, and that's that they have anime original adaptations for, at the very least, these three titles. I think there's a few other ones, but I'm not sure if they're manga or not, but I know these three titles very well because they have been recommended to me year after year. I know at the very least in 2013, because I used to do some like polls of like, well, what do you thought was the best chapter of stuff, and people used to tell me about manga stuff, and I'm like, I don't read Webtoons, I don't read manga, but like Noblesse, They're getting an anime adaptation of that. And again, I'm not really familiar with any of these series. I only just last night started checking out The God of High School, because that's another one. So we got Noblesse is getting an anime original from Crunchyroll. The God of High School, anime original from Crunchyroll, which I want to say, when I looked at it, because I read like the first 2 or 3 chapters of The God of High School, there's like 450 chapters of that shit out. Insane. But The God of High School, another one. And The Tower of God is the third one that I saw. All three of these, from a lot of people, say they're kind of almost like the big three of Webtoons. On top of this one hasn't been announced yet, but it's very popular. Everybody keeps recommending me to check it out. Solo Leveling, another Webtoon that is becoming very prominent and very popular amongst people. And this is where I'm starting to notice, yo, there could be a huge shift. Manga could not be the top dog by the end of this decade if Webtoons continue, because now getting popular anime adaptations, I'm sure these are fresh relationships that they're creating with these publishers and these authors and stuff like that, which it's going to be a lot easier for them to work with them to create these anime adaptations, opposed to going to Shueisha and you got to go to Sony Music and all these prominent voice actors. Like, there's so much that they got to deal with when they're going through, you know, on top of the studios and all of that jazz to get anime adaptations of like the fresh stuff out of Jump. Which again, I'm not taking anything because there's some really big stuff coming out of Jump that are getting anime adaptations soon. Jujutsu Kaisen, catching up on that, by the way. New video once I catch up. I'm about like 32 chapters away, something like that, from catching up. So I will be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen in the near future. But there's some big titles coming out of Jump. But manhwa, Webtoons, it looks like they are going to finally give Jump a run, and it's good. It's good because competition is going to make these people excel. It's going to also make the Japanese realize how important the international market is, because a lot of the times they be like, the international market, especially the West, is secondary to them. It's like, as long as we make it pop in Japan, if it pops overseas, cool, great. Although ideally, I do know that if it gets that level of success of like a Pokemon or Dragon Ball, that's what they really hope for internationally. But if they can't get that, then they don't really care about the international market. How many times, even on this channel, for long-time viewers, have you guys seen me disappointed that a series that people really liked over here in the West, we was really rocking with, like, oh my gosh, Barrage, Hungry Joker, Takamagahara, so many series, Iron Knight, Red Sprite, so many series in the West. People are loving it. People are like, yeah. But because it didn't do good for the Japanese readers, they would cancel it. They'd be like, it's not doing good in Japan. We don't really, the international market of the West at the very least ain't really all that of a big deal to us, and they would cancel it. I think with the emergence of Webtoons and the prominence that it's about to display with, again, these anime adaptations, the word of mouth that is circulating with all of these series and stuff like that, I think they're going to take a second look. They're not just going to count on, we need it to be big in Japan, because now they got competition in the international market. So series like, you know, the next Hungry Joker, so to speak, that people are loving over here and really hype about, that they're initially they would have been like, back in the day, who cares, get rid of it. They might take a second look. They might make a whole other magazine for those series. They might push them to different magazines. They might do something to realize or to try and keep a hold of the international market and try to cater more towards us, make our opinions more important, like those reader surveys that are exclusive to Japan, like the popularity polls and stuff like that. I think this is something that they should start opening up to us, whether it's online. Let's just say, I mean, the Shonen Jump app is on everybody's phone if you have it, right? Why can't we participate in the reader popularity poll? Maybe have two of them. Maybe have one from the magazine over there in Japan and one from the digital international. That would be something that'll really tell what's popping over here opposed to there. There is a lot of options of what I think will be implemented moving forward in this decade with manga and anime, because once this competition is in place, this is going to light a fire under Jump, under Shueisha, under, you know, all the publishers, all the magazines, not just only Jump, you know, Weekly Shonen Magazine, Shonen Sunday. I think this is going to make them realize we can't take the international market for granted anymore. We got to start catering to them. If not, we're going to lose our stronghold, and Webtoons will take over. I'm sure from what I've been hearing about the industry all these years now, it's a lot cheaper to produce anime in different parts, not only in Japan. Like, you know, if you make anime in South Korea, it'd probably be a lot cheaper. So there's so many things that they're going to have to do now. And again, competition is great. I wish there would be a competitor, a true competitor to something like YouTube, because if we had that, it'd be a whole different story. But I'm jumping off topics. I'm really, really curious what a lot of you guys think about this, though. Big question. Do you think that Webtoons, manhwa, will in this decade put up such a great fight and give such great competition to Shonen Jump? And I keep referring to Shonen Jump, that's not the only magazine. Shueisha's not the only publisher. There's Kodansha, there's, you know, quite a few Shogakukan and quite a few magazines and all that stuff. But do you think that it's going to be so competitive that either Jump and all of these publishers will be in trouble, or even worst case scenario, could it be that they start really losing a stronghold in the market to the point where Webtoons takes over? Do you think by 2030 Webtoons will be the new thing? I mean, I've seen it with music. I've seen it with so many different things where certain things that were strong in one decade with one generation, you know, kids in the next generation, they might still be into comic books, they might still be into manga, but Webtoons, manhwa might be their thing. They might look at manga as, oh, the black and white stuff, yeah, that's what my pops used to read. That's cool and all, but these Webtoons is what's up right now. This shit is in color. That's a true thing that could actually happen. So it's just a matter of seeing where the market goes, your thoughts on that, and are you excited? I am gonna lie, you probably got a first impression at the very least of all three of those series: Noblesse, Tower of God, God of High School, oh, and Solo Leveling. I'll probably do like a manhwa. I can't believe I gotta say manhwa, or a webtoon. I'll probably do a first impression of I want to say manga so bad, but of the comic of that, and those three anime I'll definitely have at the very least first impressions, and we'll see which one I might stick with, because I gotta do more anime reviews moving forward. I've been really focusing in on manga, and I want to spread my wings and get back into, because remember, it's anime and manga for life. The overall thoughts and expectations for this decade of how the industry is going to moving forward with the emergence of Webtoons. But that's all I have for this one though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, hit that bell to get all notifications. Please do. That definitely helps out so you guys get notified whenever I drop a video. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links of course in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day, and remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in.
Everything good always comes to an end. If you stab me in my back, we can never make amends. Trying to move to acceptance, hard to accept it. Mistakes like mirrors, gotta reflect it. I don't wanna fucking leave, but I gotta leave the maybes to the crazies. Maybe one day there I go, admitting something in a subtle way. No more copies, leave without a trace. Last time, I'ma say last time. Moving on to the future, leave the memories as a pastime. Memories always feel like the worst, letting all the past, leave it in a hearse. Sometimes I wanna lie, but I don't. Why lie when truthfully you get caught in it? Then usually it's all off and shit, uncalled for shit. Now I'm off the shit. Maybe lately what I've been facing got me crazy. No, I can't take it. Maybe